Cyberpunk 2077 is a very promising looking upcoming open world RPG, developed and published by CD Projekt Red. This game was announced a long time ago, and the hype for it is at an insane level. Not just from me, but from a lot of other gamers out there too. The game has been said to be a dark cyberpunk game, where you have a lot of choice in how you play and just a lot of decisions in the story in general. You can decide which gangs you want to help or which gangs you want to fuck the hell up. Now, keep in mind, you cannot actually join a gang, but you will be able to do missions for them and side with them, or potentially do as much as you can to hurt the gangs. This truly is a story that you can change with your own decisions. If Cyberpunk 2077 delivers on its promises, I believe it has the potential of being a masterpiece and potentially Game of the Year, or even Game of the Generation. But the game will have some big competition. The Last of Us 2. Now, everything that I have said and will say in this video are just predictions based on what we've seen. Since the game isn't released, there's no possible way for us to know if the game will be a Game of the Year contender or a good game at all. So take everything I say with a grain of salt. Even though we cannot possibly know for sure, we have seen quite a lot of Cyberpunk 2077, and other people have seen even more gameplay behind closed doors. And a big majority that has seen it are really positive about what they have seen. A lot of the hype for this game are mainly based on the previous game that CDPR has made, which was The Witcher 3 in 2015. The Witcher 3 is my favorite game of all time, and it is a true masterpiece. I even have like a Geralt of Rivia statue behind me right now. It has won the most Game of the Year awards ever. I think, I'm not entirely sure, but if it has, it truly deserves it. Everything about The Witcher 3, from the story, to the soundtrack, and to the world itself, is phenomenal. And The Witcher 3 has given CDPR trust of the people, which is why not a lot of people are doubting CDPR's abilities to make a fantastic game. The biggest change from The Witcher 3 is that Cyberpunk 2077 is a first-person game instead of a third-person game. This was unexpected, and a lot of people were pissed off about it, and some of them still are to this day. But keep in mind, this game is by no means a basic FPS. It is still an RPG, but in first person. I think it's understandable that you want to have a game in a city in first person, since the camera could potentially be a pain in the ass if you made the game in third person. But of course, a separate third person mode truly wouldn't hurt, like in Skyrim or Fallout. If Cyberpunk 2077 will manage to be even half as good as The Witcher 3, I will be more than satisfied.
It's a city of dreams, and I'm a big dreamer.
This game is filled with choices and playstyles, which is very good in an RPG. The game does not have fixed classes, like a lot of other RPGs often do, but instead has a fluid class system which you can change at any time, which is a little similar to Skyrim, I'd say. This fluid class system has a lot of different perks and abilities that allows you to mix and match different playstyles at any time. You can create a strong solo, which can try and take on enemies head-on with their strength and raw gunpowder, or maybe just use a katana to cut people's heads off and other limbs off. Or maybe you prefer the stealth route, as I do, and you want to play a netrunner. A netrunner uses more of a stealthy approach to situations by hacking different things and even people's implants. You could hack a boxing robot to a higher difficulty, so the robot will kill an enemy. Or maybe you want to break a workout machine, which will then crush your enemy. Or maybe you will play like I will, and try to be stealthy until you get spotted about 1 minute after I entered a restricted area, because some assholes saw me 15 meters away. A lot can change by playing these playstyles, and you could even mix and match to make a hybrid playstyle. The choice is truly yours. There are a lot of different guns and weapons you can use to clear enemies. So far, I think we know about around 22 weapons that will be in the game, but I suspect we will have a lot more in the final product. But even if we don't, I think 22 is a really good amount, especially if the weapons by themselves have variations and are potentially customizable. The loot has been said to also make a little sense, so you will not find a gun in a kitchen or a katana at a gun range. These are just some of my own examples. I don't actually know if there will be a gun range you can access. We have seen a shotgun which can actually explode body parts in a brutal way, which will not be a pleasant sight to see. There also seems to be an ability which makes it so bullets can ricochet off walls and hit enemies. But there aren't just guns in this game. There are also some melee weapons. We know of the katana, but we haven't actually seen it used yet, so I cannot really talk about it, since I don't know anything about it. But it's a katana, so I think we know what to expect. What we have seen are the fucking awesome mantis blades, which can cut enemies' limbs off with relative ease, and I would totally use them a lot. I assume the mantis blades will have some awesome stealth takedowns too, which is always a dope thing. We also have the nanowire, which can hack people's implants from a certain distance, or just physically hack the people into pieces. You play as V, a mercenary outlaw in Night City with a big mission. Your mission is to find the one and only implant that is the key to immortality. During this long mission, you will meet a lot of intriguing people, and you will have to make difficult choices to get to your goal. These choices truly will impact your game, so you must think about your decisions carefully. One really important character in this game is Johnny Silverhand, which is played by Keanu Reeves, and he will be with you for pretty much the whole game. He is a famous rocker boy and lead singer of the band Samurai. You can customize and change pretty much everything about V, such as implants, clothes, skills and so much more. But implants could change some of your humanity. This will really make this V your own V. So far we actually don't know a lot about the story, except for it being a dark and gritty cyberpunk story. So you should expect a lot of corporations and gang related stuff. I also think it's quite nice to not know much about the story, since I want to experience it for myself when the game releases. Since it's an RPG, you can expect a shit ton of missions to do. From main missions to side missions to street stories, there will be a lot for you to do in this world even after you finish the main missions. CDPR are known for making fantastic missions and stories, and we all know of the awesome and phenomenal Pan mission in The Witcher 3. Yeah, you know the one I'm talking about. The Pan mission has some of the best mission structure and climax of a mission in gaming ever. I mean, yes, I am joking a bit, but that mission was actually a really enjoyable mission, like most missions in that game. So I think we can expect a lot of variety and a deep story. You should also expect some funnier stories with a lighter tone and potentially a lot of darker ones, like the Bloody Baron in The Witcher 3, which is incredibly dark and messed up. I think it's good to have some variety in the tone, so it doesn't always feel like a dark and boring slog in a horrible world, even though that's what the world of Cyberpunk is. I mean, not boring and a slog, but it's dark and horrible. Cyberpunk is set in a dystopian near-future cyberpunk world in a fictional Californian city called Night City. The United States has suffered a socio-economic collapse that has sent big ripples around the world, throwing the entire planet, but especially the West, into a chaotic mess. The only reason the US government has maintained order is with the aid of a bunch of mega corporations. The ones with real power in Night City are the corporations. They rule everything. Now, the corporations are for the most part antagonists, but after playing The Witcher 3, I really don't think everything will be black and white. I really don't think every corporation will be the bad guys. Some might even be the good guys. What do I know? Two of the biggest corporations in the game are Arasaka and Militech. Arasaka is a huge Japanese Saibatsu that deals in corporate security. The CEO is obsessed with making Japan a superpower. And Militech is an American arms manufacturer, distributor, and mercenary contractor, and it has ties to the US government, police and military. These are only two of so many more corporations in Night City. CDPR are fantastic at making atmospheric games. This game will not be an exception. Expect a lot of random conversations between NPCs, random encounters and just a lot of ambient sound effects. The game's atmosphere will also change a lot depending on if it's day or night. Night will probably have a more of a classic Blade Runner cyberpunk feel, which is my personal favorite. This will be a world you truly want to explore. You will meet a lot of gangs in the game, and you might even side with some of them. We don't know about every gang that will be in the game, but we do know of some gangs. Two of the gangs we have seen the most so far are the Voodoo Boys and the Animals. The Voodoo Boys are some of the best netrunners in Night City, and they will be able to help you get better at netrunning. Their leader is Bridget, a mysterious and threatening woman. The Animals are an aggressive street fighting gang that cares a lot about physical power and use a lot of testosterone and a steroid-like drug called the Juice, which increases strength and speed. The soundtrack of Cyberpunk 2077 will be a fan-freaking-tastic. The soundtrack will mainly be composed by Marcin Przybolovics. Sorry if I butcher this name, but I mean, it's a difficult name, come on, I'm sorry. He also composed the soundtrack for The Witcher 3, which is pretty much a perfect soundtrack in my personal opinion. He may have gotten some help by Brian Brain Mancha, a drummer that has previously worked with Guns N' Roses and is helping with the songs. Mancha, or Mancha, I'm not sure, said the job was challenging because the songs are meant to sound like they come from 2077, obviously. The soundtrack will be drawing on a variety of popular punk, electronic, rap, hip-hop, and alternative artists to make the awesome soundtrack. This means there will be a lot of variety, which is necessary for a game set in Night City. Now, I have talked about so much stuff in this game, so by now you have to be convinced. If CDPR delivers on all of these things, or even a few of these things, there's no way that this will not be a 10 out of 10 masterpiece. The world will be next level, with a shit ton of detail and incredibly atmospheric. The soundtrack will improve on the atmosphere a lot, which will make the world feel even more alive. All this combined with a good variety in combat and playstyle, so you can replay the way... makes it so you can easily replay the game so many times. And all the different choices that will lead to different outcomes in the fantastic story really makes this game a real nice package. If you want a dark cyberpunk open world RPG, this game might be perfect for you. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and comment. If you want more similar content, I would appreciate it if you subscribed. And if you disliked the video, please tell me how to improve so I can make better content in the future. Have a good day and goodbye.
We finished the job, but our story is just beginning.